Alright, well, this is my first time going live. I don't care if anybody's on here. It's just a little weird talking to myself. But today we're going to be talking about propaganda and what it is and how to spot it. Propaganda is the dissemination of information, like facts, arguments, rumors, half-truths, or lies, to influence public opinion or to sway other people. It is often conveyed through mass media. Propaganda is more or less systematic effort to manipulate other people's beliefs, attitudes, or actions by means of symbols, words, gestures, banners, monuments, music, clothing, insignias, hairstyles, designs on coins, postage stamps. Our dollar has all kinds of symbolism on it. Deliberateness and a relatively heavy emphasis on manipulation distinguish propaganda from casual conversation for the free and easy exchange of ideas. Propagandists have a specified goal or set of goals. To achieve these goals, they deliberately select facts, arguments, and displays of symbols and present them in ways that they think will have the most effect. To maximize effect, they may omit or distort pertinent facts or simply lie, like, just showing one side of the story and not the other. And they may try to divert the attention of the reactors, like the people they're trying to sway, from everything but their own propaganda. That's why we always say, when you look at a story that they're putting out, you need to find the distraction that they're trying to show you or hide from you. I had an interesting conversation with ChatGPT, and it says propaganda techniques. Some of the propaganda techniques in media can be challenging, but there are some key things to look out for. Here are some tips to identify propaganda techniques. Be aware of your emotions. Propaganda often uses emotional appeals to manipulate the audience. If you find yourself feeling angry, fearful, or anxious after watching a news segment or reading an article, take a step back and evaluate the information presented more critically. Look for loaded language. Propaganda often uses words that are emotionally charged or have a strong connotation to sway the audience's opinion. Be wary of words like terrorist, freedom, or patriotism that are used to evoke a particular response in a person. Check the source. Propaganda comes from a variety of sources, including governments, political parties, and corporations, and they use influencers, media influencers, movie stars, music producers, all that, to push their agenda. Be skeptical of the information that comes from the sources with a clear agenda or bias. Consider the context. Propaganda often presents information out of context or selectively omits important details to support its message. Be sure to evaluate the information presented in its context, in its full context. Somebody tried to join. I'm sorry about that. Look for logical fallacies. Propaganda often uses logical fallacies, such as ad hominem attacks or straw man arguments to discredit opposing viewpoints. Be aware of these tactics and evaluate arguments based on their merits. It is important to note that propaganda techniques can be used for both good and bad purposes. So propaganda and advertising are two distinct concepts. Although they share similarities, propaganda is a form of communication that aims to influence people's attitudes and beliefs by presenting information in a biased or misleading way. Advertising, on the other hand, is a form of communication that aims to promote a product or service by presenting information in a persuasive way. The goal of advertising is to increase sales or awareness of a product. However, propaganda techniques can be used in advertising to persuade people to buy a product or service. Here are some common propaganda techniques used in advertising. Testimonials. This technique involves using a celebrity or authority figure to endorse a product or idea. Bandwagon. This technique involves creating a sense of peer pressure by suggesting that everyone is doing something, so you should too. An emotional appeal. This technique involves using emotions such as fear, love, or happiness to persuade viewers. Glittering generalities. This technique uses slogans or simple catchphrases to make generalized statements that are attractive to the audience. Like, just do it with Nike, because they're trying to put out your fitness and everything, get you attracted to doing it. And I mean, everybody loves Nike. Transfer. This technique associates a revered symbol with an idea that the propagandist wants to promote. Some examples. Propaganda techniques can be used in advertising to persuade people to buy a product or service. Here are some examples. Testimonials. This technique involves a celebrity. We just read that. Okay. Examples. Coca-Cola. Share a Coke campaign uses the bandwagon technique by encouraging people to share a Coke with friends and a family member. Nike. See, just do it. Campaign uses emotional appeals by inspiring people to push their limits and achieve their goals. Apple, they have Think Different. It's a campaign with glittering generalities by celebrating creativity and innovation. L'Oreal, Because You're Worth It campaign uses transfer by associating their products with luxury and self-worth. Proactive, the acne treatment, their commercials use testimonials from celebrities such as Katy Perry and Justin Bieber to endorse their products. We know. Alright. Now we can change to something else. What would y'all like to talk about? Y'all can comment and I will see what ChatGPT has to say. I'll show y'all something that's weird. They like to hide. The NEAT program, tissue engineering, it always tells me that it wants to hide our conversation because it might not be public information. Successful propaganda campaign. Propaganda campaigns have been used throughout history to influence public opinion and shape political outcomes. Some examples. Rosie the Riveter. During World War II, the U.S. government used the image of Rosie the Riveter to encourage women to enter the workforce and support the war effort. And that was also taking away the nuclear family and the woman staying at home and creating values for our children while the man works and takes care of everything else. Uncle Sam. The image of Uncle Sam has been used by the U.S. government since the early 19th century to promote patriotism and national unity. The Marlboro Man. Everybody loves a Marlboro, don't they? The Marlboro Man was a successful advertising campaign for Marlboro cigarettes in the 1950s and 60s that used images of rugged cowboys to promote smoking as a symbol of masculinity. The Nazi Party regime in Germany used propaganda to promote their ideology and gain support from their policies, including anti-Semitic propaganda that led to the persecution and murder of millions of Jews during the Holocaust. Soviet propaganda. The Soviet Union used the propaganda to promote communism and gain support for their policies, including images of strong workers and happy family members that were meant to show the benefit of communism. It is important to know that propaganda techniques can be used for both good and bad. They always tell you that. Sorry. Recognize propaganda techniques in media. This would be a good one. Recognizing propaganda techniques in media can be challenging, but there are some key things to look out for. Here are some tips to help you identify propaganda techniques. Be aware of your emotions. Look for loaded language. Check the source. Consider the context. Look for logical fallacies. So beware of these tactics and evaluate arguments based on their merit. Let me show you this. The NEAT program by DARPA. The Neural Evidence Aggregation Tool is a program by the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, or DARPA, that aims to develop a cognitive science tool to identify people at risk of suicide by using preconscious, that means like your subconscious, brain signals, rather than asking questions and waiting for a consciously filtered response. The program intends to augment current behavioral health screening programs by providing clinicians with previously unavailable information to enable earlier interventions and more reliable measures of successful treatment. Sorry, it's my first live. I don't really know how to do all this, so I have my phone posted up on my camera, on my computer, because all that other stuff is confusing. Alright, the ethical implications of the Neural Evidence Aggregation Tool programs are not yet clear because it's still in development. Well, it's been developed, if whatever they're putting out in the public, we're like 30 to 50 years behind the government. Like AI. They've been using AI for years, if not hundreds of years. You can believe me or not, but there is evidence to support that. The program is still in its early stages of development and has not been tested on humans. However, some experts have raised concerns about the potential for the technology to be used for nefarious purposes, such as manipulating people's thoughts or emotions. There are also concerns about privacy and data security, as the program would require access to sensitive information about individuals' mental health. It is important to note that DARPA has stated that NEAT is not focused on lie detection, truth detection, or assessing someone's credibility, but rather on aggregating preconscious brain signals to determine what others believe to be true, because they'll be able to tell if you're lying or not. The program aims to provide clinicians with previously unavailable information to enable earlier intervention and more reliable measures of successful treatment. As with any new technology, it is important to successfully consider the potential risks and benefits before implementing it. DARPA has stated that it is committed to ensuring that NEAT is developed in an ethical and responsible manner. But you can't ever. Right there. Preconscious and conscious brain signals. I'm sorry if this live sucks for y'all. I will get better as I keep going. I will start learning all these neat tricks, but I won't ever try to say nothing. I'm not about that. I'm about sharing information that I find interesting and giving it to y'all. I would like to make more videos and put them out for y'all, but I'm not that good at it yet. I'm working on it. The preconscious and conscious brain signals are two different types of mental processes. The conscious mind refers to all the mental processes of which we are aware, while the preconscious mind contains all the things that we could potentially pull into conscious awareness. The preconscious mind refers to mental processes that are not currently in awareness but can be easily brought to consciousness with minimal effort, while subconscious refers to mental processes that are not currently in awareness, like our breathing. You don't ever think about breathing until you think about breathing. The subconscious refers to the mental processes that are not currently in awareness and cannot be easily brought to conscious. In other words, the preconscious mind is like a buffer zone between the conscious and unconscious mind. It contains information that is not likely or not currently in our awareness but can be easily accessed if needed. Can preconscious thoughts influence our behavior? Yes, preconscious thoughts can influence our behavior. The preconscious mind contains information that is not currently in our awareness but can easily be accessed if needed. This information can include past experiences, memories, and emotions that we may not be consciously aware of but can still affect our behavior. Like, have you ever seen somebody go through something but you haven't been through it, but you've thought, wow, I feel like I've been through that before, you know? It's crazy to think about. For example, if you have a fear of dogs that you're not consciously aware of, you may still feel anxiety or uncomfortable around dogs without knowing why. Similarly, if you have a positive association with a particular food or smell from your childhood, you may find yourself drawn to that food or smell without realizing it. It is important to note that preconscious thoughts are not the same as unconscious thoughts. Unconscious thoughts are those that are not currently in our awareness and cannot be easily brought to consciousness. Now I'm going to show you DEC3, or the W band. Alright, W band, or wide body area network. How it's connected to transhumanism and human augmentation. A W band, or wireless body area network, is a wireless network of wearable computing devices that may be implemented or implanted inside the body, worn on the body, or carried by a person. A W band can be used for various purposes such as monitoring health, fitness, entertainment, or security. Transhumanism is a philosophical movement that advocates for the enhancement of human capabilities through science and technology. Human augmentation is one of the goals of transhumanism, which aims to improve or extend human abilities beyond the normal range. A W band can be connected to transhumanism and human augmentation in several ways. For example, a W band can provide real-time feedback and control of implanted devices that enhance human functions, such as artificial organs, neural interfaces like Neuralink, or prosthetic limbs. A W band can also enable wireless communication between humans and machines, such as smart glasses, robots, or virtual reality systems. A W band can also facilitate the collection and analysis of biometric data that can be used to optimize human performance, health, or well-being. Some challenges and risks of using W band for transhumanism and human augmentation include privacy, security, ethics, regulation, and social acceptance. A W band may expose sensitive personal information to unauthorized parties or malicious attacks, but really, Google has all of our information. So if they wanted to, or they do, they put that out there. Or use it to spy on you or get you to buy stuff. You know how you've been talking about something and then boom, you see an advertisement for it? That's why. A W band may also raise ethical questions about the boundaries and implications of human enhancement. A W band may also face legal and regulatory barriers that limit its development and deployment. A W band may also encounter social resistance or stigma from people who oppose or fear transhumanism and human augmentation. You see all them links to it. Hope this answers your help. Are these used today, and does graphene have anything to do with it? W band applications are still in the research and development stage, and they are not widely used in the real world yet, but they are used. However, some of the potential applications include health monitoring, fitness tracking, entertainment, security, and human-machine interaction. Graphene is a material that has many unique properties such as high electrical conductivity, mechanical flexibility, optical transparency, and chemical stability. Graphene can be used to design antennas for W band applications, as it can enable wideband, high gain, low power consumption, and conformability to the human body. Graphene-based antennas can also operate at terahertz frequencies, which can offer high data rates and lower interference at conventional microwave frequencies. Okay, let me read that. Graphene-based antennas can also operate at terahertz frequencies, which can offer higher data rates and lower interference than conventional microwave frequencies, like Wi-Fi and radio waves. Terahertz frequencies. Terahertz frequencies are electromagnetic waves that have frequencies between 0.3 and 3 terahertz, or wavelengths between 1 millimeter and 100 micrometers. They are also sometimes called sub-millimeter waves, T-rays, or T-hertz rays, radiation. Terahertz frequencies have some unique properties that make them useful for various applications. For example, they can penetrate many non-metallic and non-polar materials, such as clothing, paper, plastic, wood, ceramic, without damage or ionization. This makes them suitable for imaging, security, and quality control purposes. They can also interact with molecular vibrations and rotations, which can be used to identify different substances and materials. This makes them suitable for spectrometry or spectroscopy, sensing, and biomedical applications. However, terahertz frequencies also face some challenges and limitations that hinder the widespread use. For example, they are strongly absorbed by water vapor in the atmosphere, which limits their range and transmission. They also require special devices and techniques to generate and detect them, as conventional electronic and optical components are not effective in this frequency range. They also pose ethical and social issues regarding privacy and safety, as they can reveal hidden or personal information without consent or awareness. How does terahertz do that? Terahertz frequencies are still an emerging and developing field of research and technology, and there are more opportunities and challenges for the future applications. If you're interested in learning about terahertz frequencies, you can check these sources. Now, I think this other one, tissue engineering, that's where they kept wanting to hide it. Piezoelectric smart biomaterials. Alright, the first thing I asked it was, what is wireless tissue engineering? Wireless tissue engineering is not a well-defined term in the scientific literature. However, there are several ongoing research projects in the field of tissue engineering that aim to develop novel techniques for creating functional tissues and organs. Tissue engineering is an interdisciplinary field that combines biology, engineering, and medicine to create artificial tissues and organs that can replace or repair damaged or diseased tissues in the human body. Some of the most promising projects in tissue engineering include creating novel biomaterials that can be transplanted into the body to serve as replacement parts or encourage new tissue growth. Other researchers are developing small replicas of human tissues or organs that can not only be used to study the impact of novel drugs or treatments, but also be encouraged to communicate with replicas of different organ systems. Still, others are focused on using a new avenue as immunoengineering to reprogram the immune system to tolerate organ and tissue transplant and medical devices, and using regenerative immunotherapies to direct tissue reconstruction. While wireless tissue engineering is not a well-defined term, there are several emerging technologies that could revolutionize the field of tissue engineering. For example, piezoelectric smart biomaterials have significant applications in tissue engineering as an electroactive scaffold for tissue repair and regeneration. Another promising technology is the use of nanoparticles in tissue engineering and regenerative medicine. It wouldn't read that out loud to me. Not capable. It says they'll provide a summary. Some of the process. Okay, I'll just read all that. Alright. Piezoelectric smart biomaterials. They are a type of smart material that can generate electrical signals in response to applied stress, like grinding your teeth. That can create some type of energy. These materials can be used as electroactive scaffolds for tissue repair and regeneration. Piezoelectric smart biomaterials can also stimulate signaling pathways and enhance tissue regeneration at the impaired site. They can act as sensitive mechanoelectrical transduction systems, making them applicable to regions where mechanical loads are predominant. Piezoelectric materials are considered smart materials because they can transduce mechanical pressure acting on them to electrical signals called direct piezoelectric effect. The electrical signals to mechanical signals called converse piezoelectric effect. The base requirement of a material to exhibit piezoelectricity depends on its crystal lattice structure and the lack of center of symmetry. Piezoelectric materials have a wide variety of electronic applications such as transducers, actuators, and sensors. Some of the most promising applications of piezoelectric smart biomaterials include bone and cartilage tissue engineering, dental tissue engineering, and regenerative medicine. For example, piezoelectric smart biomaterials can conveniently generate and transfer bioelectric signals analogous to native tissues for appropriate physiological functions in bone and cartilage tissue engineering. In dental tissue engineering, piezoelectric materials have been shown to facilitate both antimicrobial action and tissue regeneration. In regenerative medicine, piezoelectric scaffolds can regenerate and repair tissue by a definite pathway through electrical stimulation. How does it compare to traditional scaffolds for tissue engineering? Piezoelectric smart biomaterials have several advantages over traditional scaffolds for tissue engineering. One of the most significant advantages is the ability to generate electrical signals in response to applied stress. This property makes them ideal for use as electroactive scaffolds for tissue repair and regeneration. Piezoelectric smart biomaterials can also stimulate signaling pathways and enhance tissue regeneration at the impaired site. They can act as sensitive mechanoelectrical transduction systems, making them applicable to regions where mechanical loads are predominant. I feel like I just read that. In contrast, traditional scaffolds are typically made of biocompatible materials such as collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chitosan. These materials provide a framework for cells to grow and differentiate into functional tissues. However, they lack the ability to generate electrical signals or respond to mechanical stress. This limits their ability to mimic the natural environment of living tissues and organs. Piezoelectric smart biomaterials have several other advantages over traditional scaffolds. For example, they can deliver variable electrical stimulus without an external power source. They can also be used to create scaffolds with complex geometries that are difficult to achieve with traditional scaffold fabrication techniques. Overall, piezoelectric smart biomaterials have several advantages over traditional scaffolds for tissue engineering. How long does it take? It takes time to create a functional tissue using piezoelectric smart biomaterials depending on several factors, including the type of tissue being engineered, the complexity of the scaffold, and the specific piezoelectric material being used. In general, creating functional tissues using piezoelectric smart biomaterials is a complex and time-consuming process that requires careful planning and execution. Researchers must first design and fabricate the piezoelectric scaffold, which can take several weeks or months depending on the complexity of the scaffold. Once the scaffold is fabricated, researchers must seed it with a cell and cultures it into vitro for several weeks or months to allow the cells to grow and differentiate into functional tissues. The process of creating functional tissues using piezoelectric smart biomaterials can take anywhere from several weeks to several months or even years, depending on the specific application and the complexity of the tissue being engineered. However, despite the challenges associated with this process, researchers are making significant progress in developing new techniques for creating functional tissues and organs using piezoelectric smart biomaterials. Immunoengineering Immunoengineering is an emerging field that combines engineering principles with immunology. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. To develop new therapies for diseases such as cancer, autoimmunity, infectious diseases, and transplantation. The goal of immunoengineering is to create engineering tools to both investigate and change the immune system. Of course. There are several ongoing research projects in the field of immunoengineering that aim to develop novel techniques for treating diseases. For example, researchers at Johns Hopkins University are pioneering immunoengineering approaches to augment tissue regeneration and treat cancer and other diseases. Researchers at the University of Southern California are developing therapies that precisely control and modulate the body's immune response. Researchers at the University of Chicago are using immunoengineering to develop more potent therapies for a human immune system. While there have been significant advances in the field of immunoengineering, it is still relatively new and much work remains to be done. However, researchers are making significant progress in developing new techniques for creating functional tissue organs using piezoelectric smart biomaterials. I was thinking this was achieved with the, that word. Well, it says, and, they're not going to tell us the truth anyway. The mRNA 19 vaccine is a type of shot that uses a small piece of virus genetic material called messenger RNA to instruct cells in the body to produce a protein that triggers an immune response. The immune system then recognizes the protein as foreign and produces antibodies to fight it. If the person is later exposed to the virus, their immune system will recognize it and produce antibodies to fight it. While the mRNA stuff is not an example of immunoengineering per se, it does represent a significant breakthrough in the field of development. The mRNA technology used in the vaccine has been under development for several decades and has been studied extensively in preclinical models. Which is funny since, remember, it was new and it came out in 2019 and nobody knew what it was and how to fight it, but here they've been developing it for several decades. Alright, some applications of mRNA technology. And this is what they are trying to do with everything. They're putting mRNA in vaccines, in food, in everything. Your water, probably. mRNA technology has several potential applications beyond vaccines. For example, researchers are exploring the use of mRNA technology to develop vaccines for other infectious diseases such as HIV, Zika, and rabies. Other potential vaccines include malaria, cystic fibrosis, TB, and hepatitis B. In addition to vaccines, mRNA technology has several potential therapeutic applications. For example, researchers are exploring the use of mRNA technology to develop therapies for certain types of cancer. mRNA technologies could also be used to treat rare genetic diseases by providing cells with the instructions they need to produce functional proteins. Biohacking humans. Biohacking is a term used to describe do-it-yourself biology. It involves people making incremental changes to their body, diet, and lifestyle to improve their health and well-being. Biohacking can range from natural supplements and fasting to specific routines and actions that are believed to optimize your body to the best possible level. Biohacking is an emerging field that has several potential applications. For example, researchers are exploring the use of biohacking to improve brain function, weight loss, energy, vitality, or longevity. Biohacking can also involve different methods and goals such as improving brain function, weight loss, energy, vitality, longevity. However, it is important to note that biohacking is a relatively new field and much work remains to be done. While some type of biohacks are relatively safe to try at home, others may pose health risks. It is always advisable to consult a professional. More about piezoelectric. I think I just read all this. Materials can be used as electroactive scaffolds for tissue repair. Piezoelectric smart biomaterials can stimulate signaling pathways, enhance tissue regeneration at impaired sites. DE3C is device edge cloud cooperative computing. That's where the 3C comes in. Cloud cooperative computing. It is a way of using the resources of user devices, edge servers, and cloud servers together to perform tasks that require higher computing power or low latency. DE3C can improve the user satisfaction and the resource efficiency by offloading some tasks from devices to edges or clouds. Let me go to the comments if there are any and see what y'all want me to look at. I don't know how to look at any of this stuff, so y'all gonna have to bear with me a minute. If y'all want me to ask it something, just comment and I will ask it something for you. Because I don't know how to do any of this stuff, so sorry if y'all are on here as well. Human body. Oh yeah, that was a big one, I forgot. This one is give me the details about characteristics of the human body as a power transmission and ambient EM or electromagnetic energy harvesting mediums. So I can help you with some information about the characteristics of the human body as a power transmission and ambient EM energy harvesting medium. Here's a summary of what I found. The body can be used as a medium for transmitting power and harvesting energy from ambient electromagnetic waves, which can enable wireless and batteryless body area electronics. And that's where it goes back to the W-band, wireless body area network. And see, they was just talking about like your smartwatch is part of the W-band technology. The DE3C is part of the W-band technology. Tissue engineering and the IEEE is all part of this whole. It's all as a whole. The body-coupled power transmission utilizes the human body as a conductive path to deliver power to the entire body at the same time harvest energy from ambient EM waves coupled through the body. The body-coupled power transmission can achieve up to 60 decibel better path gain than the 2.4 gigahertz RF non-line-of-sight transmission in the body area and is insusceptible to body blockages or antenna pattern distortions. Because the 2.4 gigahertz is everything. From wireless mouses, wireless controllers, your Wi-Fi, your phone, a lot of it all gets put out at 2.4 gigahertz. The body-coupled power transmission and ambient energy harvesting ICs improve the recovered power level by adapting to the varying skin electrode interface parasitic impedance at both the transmitter TX and the receiver RX. The ICs, which is integrated computer, I think maybe. The ICs also employ techniques such as dynamic impedance matching, detuning impedance booster, bulk adaptation rectifier, and dual mode buck booster converter to maximize the power output from the TX, which is the transmitter, improve the power recovery and extend the power coverage at the receiver, and ensure the maximum power extraction despite the loading variations. The ICs fabricated in 40 nanometer 1P8M CMOS recovery up to 100 microwatts from the body coupled power transmission and 2.5 microwatts from ambient body coupled energy harvesting. The ICs achieved the full body area power delivery with the power harvested from the ambience via the body coupling mechanism independent of placements on the body. So it don't matter where it's at on the body, it will still be able to harvest the energy from it. And you might wonder why you're feeling so fatigued and down and your body hurting. It's all this wireless, and I believe that's where a lot of diseases come from. It's because all the electrical signals out in the world is bombarding us, making us sick. The human body can also retain temperatures even when the ambient temperature changes, which can be used as a source of thermal energy for harvesting. It's a body area powered with human. Right. How can this technology be used? This technology can be used for various biomedical applications such as powering wearables and implantable sensors and devices, glucose sensors, oximeters, pacemakers, and prosthetics. Some of the benefits of using this technology are: it can provide continuous and long-lasting sources of energy that can replace or reduce the need of batteries. It can enable wireless and batteryless body area electronics that can monitor health parameters and transmit data to external devices. It can improve the comfort, convenience, and safety of the users by eliminating wires, cables, or bulk batteries that may cause infections or discomfort. It can reduce the environmental impact of battery disposal and increase the sustainability of portable electronic devices. Some of the challenges and limitations are: it depends on the availability and variability of the human body energy sources, which may not be sufficient or stable enough to power some devices. It requires efficient energy conversion, storage, and management techniques to optimize the power output and consumption. It faces ethical, social, and regulatory issues regarding the safety, privacy, and acceptability of harvesting energy from the human body. This technology is still in its early stages of development and research, but it has great potential to revolutionize the field of bioelectrics and enable new applications and possibilities for a human-machine interaction. It can be used for non-medical applications. Yes, it can be used for non-medical applications as well. Some of these possible non-medical applications of the human body power transmission and energy harvesting are smart electronics. The human body can power various smart devices such as smart watches, smart shoes, smart textiles, and smart wearables that can perform functions such as sensing, computing, communication, and display. Wireless networks. The human body can act as a wireless network node that can transmit and receive data to and from other devices or networks or other people's bodies using the body-coupled power transmission and the ambient energy harvesting techniques. Security systems. The human body can provide a unique biometric signature that can be used for authentication and identification purposes using the body-coupled power transmission and ambient energy harvesting methods. Entertainment systems. The human body can enable interactive and immersive gaming and virtual reality experiences by providing motion and gesture inputs and feedbacks using the body-coupled power transmission and ambient energy harvesting technologies. Education systems. The human body can facilitate learning and teaching activities by providing information and feedback to students and teachers using the body-coupled power transmission and ambient energy harvesting approaches. These are some examples of the non-medical applications of human body power transmission and energy harvesting. However, there are more potential applications that have not been explored yet. If you want to learn more about this technology, you can check out these sources. Body area powering the human body coupled, because that's part of the W band that I was just talking about. And I learned a lot of that. I learned a lot of that from Sabrina Wallace. That was mind-blowing. I have a video on my TikTok to let you know. But I'm going to go for now. So, hope y'all had fun, or any of this was interesting to y'all. Thank you. Have a nice day.